welcome on this new Coach Saver Academy Lab Guide. I'm Corentin Guinez. Today we are here for the first week of the 2024 Season 1, and we're gonna use for the Falcon Sports Car Series the Porsche 718, and we are around Monza without the first chicane, so a bit different as what we know usually about Monza. And as usual, first we're gonna go with the hot lap, and then we're gonna go together about the details about the combo. So yep, let's get started. Alright guys, so here we go for the lap around Monza without the first chicane, and as you can see it's a very long straight now because basically you just go through the chicane, through the runoff, which is there when the chicane is the layout. And as you can see now, then just using the white line as a reference for the turn-in. For this one it's really important to turn at the right time because you have so much speed that if you are just half a second or even less too slow to turn in, then you're just gonna end up in big understeer and you're just gonna lose a lot of momentum through the corner. It's always important to think about that this corner is just about momentum, and that if you kill the momentum on the entry or in the middle, you're gonna lose plenty of time. Actually, it doesn't look like you can lose that much time, but in the end, if you make one thing wrong, then you can lose at least 1/10, which is quite a lot because you don't have so many corners after that. The first chicane is not there basically. So as you can see, all the way on the straight, just staying to the left, no need to do anything particular actually. Of course, it gives you a bit of rest, but as you can imagine on this track, it's gonna be quite a lot of draft train actually, so you won't have that much rest actually during the race, and same with the traffic with the LMP3. So yeah, just make sure that you're checking in the mirrors if no one comes behind for a SN or anything, especially on this one. And as you can see, just using the white line, and as you can see at some point the white line goes a bit wide just after that point I'm showing you right now. As you can see, it goes to the left, so it seems like it's getting wider at this point, so the track gets a bit wider, or I don't know, but yeah, for some reason the white line is moving a bit to the left. So that's basically what I'm using as a reference. So as you can see, as soon as I'm approaching the line, I'm just starting to turn to the right, and the idea there is to get as close as you can from the inside. So basically it's pretty much what you would do if it was the first chicane. So basically just trying to stick to the curbing, and as soon as I'm close of the curbing, I need to lift, because basically with the Porsche you cannot make it without lifting. With the Merc and with the M4 we are working on, basically we made it without lifting, maybe just a bit of lift first lap, but with the Porsche it seems like you need to lift all the way every time, every lap, because it gets too loose if you don't do it, and you're gonna just end up in understeer. Maybe the difference is that the it's a rear engine or mid engine with the Porsche, so that's the reason, I guess. But yeah, the thing is that you have to make sure to lift a bit with the Porsche, otherwise you're gonna end up in the gravel and the tire wall. So as you can see, just a bit of lift, and as soon as I found the momentum, I can go back full on power. As you can see, when I'm going back on power, it pretty much it match with the exit road on the right side. So it's pretty much between the end of the curbing on the inside and the beginning of the exit road. So between those 2 points, if you get it right, if you have the right momentum, if you have the right racing line, you should be able to go back fully on power as soon as you are between the end of the curbing and the beginning of the exit road. So as you can see, I'm just doing it again. So as you can see, just trying to stick to the inside and then just lifting, and then going back on power. And as you can see, you need to play quite a bit with the steering because obviously the rear gets a bit loose. This time it was very risky, I think. It was a push lap, so basically I took a bit of risk there, but you should be able to make it a bit easier if you manage to just lift a bit more. But this time I really wanted to get a good lap, so that's why as you can see, I'm having a bit of counter steering. But yeah, the main target is to really make sure that the entry is good, so then it really really make your life easier on this one. And as you can see, basically just also staying with 6th gear, not chopping to fifth or anything, just sticking to the same gear, so don't worry about that. And just make sure you don't run obviously too wide, because then you will get enough track, and then there is a chance that you basically maybe you lose the car in the gravel, on the grass, or maybe the gravel as well. And the thing is that you need to keep a certain amount of throttle, which gonna give you a stable car as well, because then if you lift too much, you will a bit offset the car, and then you have a chance to lose a bit the stability of the car. So yeah, I think I'm dropping down to maybe 75% on throttle when I'm lifting. So just make sure that you don't lift too much, because first you're gonna lose the momentum, and also because then you will just upset a bit and not offset, sorry, I said offset earlier. You will upset a bit the car, I think. You will lose a bit the stability of the car through the corner, and then it's gonna be even more difficult to keep the car on the track. So yeah, just make sure that you keep at least a certain amount of throttle. I would say 75, like I said earlier. And yeah, as you can see, just trying to keep as much speed as I can. And now we approach actually the first chicane, which is the first chicane with this layout. And as you can see, I'm just basically using, you can see that this big shadow which goes from the left to the right of the track, and I'm basically gonna try to brake at the end of this one. So I guess it's the shadow of the bridge, because it maybe makes sense if it's the shadow of the bridge. But yeah, still braking just before the bridge and basically just at the end of the shadow. So as you can see, just going on the brakes, an EV braking zone, you need to apply. I guess you can try to brake a bit less, but this time I really need a big braking, so that's why I'm applying 100% on the brakes. But you can also try to go with a bit less brakes, but I don't know if it's going to work. Maybe if you brake a bit earlier, you should be able to brake a bit less, but yeah, at the end it works, so I guess it's okay to brake 100% this time. So as you can see, fully on the brakes, and you're gonna have to keep the brakes really deep into the corner, because you really have to slow down the car, and keep it also a bit tight in the first left of the chicane, because then you really want to have a very good exit for the chicane, because then you can gain a lot of time, and also because you want to keep it tight in the first bit of the chicane, because you want the car to be as straight as you can through the curbing on the exit of the chicane. And if you don't do that and you carry too much speed in the first bit of the chicane, you won't be able to have the car straight, because you're gonna end up with the steering being too much to the right, because you went too fast in the first one. I don't know if you see what I mean, but it's basically about being patient in the first bit, and then you can really get all the speed you can on the exit. So, but I will show you that more precisely with the replay. So as you can see on the brakes, and then when the curbing begins on the right side, you can start to turn in, dropping to second, and then you need to make sure that you are not cutting too much on the inside, otherwise it's gonna be an off track, but or a slowdown, but most likely a slowdown, I guess. And as you can see, I'm cutting quite a lot. I guess you need to keep a bit of a margin on the left side because it doesn't seems like the slowdown is related to the curbing or the white line on the right. So yeah, it's I guess it's the sausage, the orange sausage or the distance to the grass, the gap to the grass, which gives you the slowdown. So just make sure that you can keep a bit of a margin. But the thing is that you really have to optimize this first bit of the chicane, because then, as you can see, I managed to stay a bit tight, and then I don't have that much steering angle to put in the on the right one, especially on the exit. So I can basically make sure that I have the best traction possible. Because, for example, if I was a bit more to the right, I will show you with a better angle. Just give me a second. Okay, that's good. So, for example, if I was a bit more to the right, it means that I need to first slow down a bit more because I won't be able to carry that speed through this one without getting at least the off track by cutting on the right one, on the second bit of the chicane. And then it means that I will need to have a longer time with the steering on the right. So basically it's gonna kill all my exit as well because I won't have the best traction. And as you can see as well, it's bouncy. So if you combine throttle plus more steering angle to the right plus the bounce, then it's gonna be all over the place and you're gonna lose a lot of time. So by staying a bit deeper into the corner with the brakes, then as you can see, I'm already on power quite comfortably with a quite comfortable manner on the exit of the first one, and then it's almost very easy to get the curbing on the second bit of the chicane. And at the end, as you can see, just putting a very small amount of steering on the exit, so then I can really get the best traction. And also then it's also easier to avoid to ride wide on the exit. So I will show you again from the inside. But as you can see, just on the brakes, releasing the brakes to find the rotation, dropping down to second, cutting as much as I can on the inside. And as you can see from now, it's perfect because as you can see, I don't have that much steering to put to the right. I have the momentum. I'm already on power, so I'm already um, unleashing the car. And then, as you can see, not much steering angle to put. I can take the curbing comfortably on the inside, and yeah, that's pretty much the thing you have to do in this one. And also, what you can do for this one is to put third gear just before the curb. You cannot see it with the wheel, but what I'm doing is that instead of staying all the way to second until I'm leaving the orange sausage, I'm just putting third just before. So if I do it with the normal speed, as you can hear, I'm almost putting the third gear just before the sausage. So yeah, the idea there is to really short shift for the exit of this one. So then, as you can see, just leaving the chicane, no issues, not going wide. And then we approach the first Lesmo. So for the first Lesmo, I'm just braking when you can see the sunlights on the track. So I'm basically braking on those on that reference. So as you can see, just braking on that reference. And the idea for the first Lesmo is to stay as much as you can on the inside. Basically, first because you will shorten the distance, and also because if you basically put more steering angle at the beginning, it means that you're gonna have to put a bit less on the exit, and it's gonna give you the best traction. Because if you carry all the speed all the way through the corner, you're gonna miss a bit the apex on the exit, and then you're gonna have too much steering angle all the time to the corner, and you will minimize. You will not optimize the traction on the exit. So I will show you, but the idea there is to go on the brakes when you go on the sunlights. Then just keep on the brakes. Just try to find a rotation out of the brakes. I think it's a third gear corner, if I'm not saying any bad. Yeah, it's third gear corner. So you stay with third gear corner, and then the idea there is to, as soon as you can see the end of the curbing, you're close of the end of the curbing, it's at that point that you can really go flat on power. And that's what's going to give you the best traction, because if you go too early, then you're gonna have, as you can see, if I go full throttle with this amount of steering, then I will lose the back end. So the idea there is to really be patient on this one. You have to carry the speed, but at the same time, if you carry too much, then you will compromise the exit. So the idea there is to really stay as much as you can on the inside, and then I can open the steering, get the traction, and then go on the curbing, not too wide on this curbing because on the exit of Lesmo, because then it can be an off track. So as soon as you keep your right wheels on the white line, or if you keep it on the green, white, and red curbing, it's okay. But then if you go over the limit, then it's gonna be an off track for this one. And then we're gonna go on to Lesmo 2. So just using the 50-meter board. This time I'm no need to use, like, it's quite an obvious reference, so just use the 50-meter board. And I'm braking just slightly before that, not really at the 50-meter board, but as soon as I'm getting close of the 50-meter board, that's the moment when I'm gonna go on the brakes. But it's basically maybe 2 or 3 meters before, as you can see on the brakes. And then just trying to send the car into the corner. So the idea there is to put most of the brake pressure when the car is straight, and then as soon as you start the turning, just release the brakes. And at that point, you need to find the rotation by putting a lower amount of brakes, which also helps to get the momentum through the corner. So as you can see, I'm keeping a very low amount of brake, and then as soon as I'm getting close of the curbing, even a bit before, I'm gonna go for the curbing on the inside. So just trying to not get too much. As you can see, it's just about riding the white line actually on the inside. I don't think it's good to take too much curbing on the inside because it makes the car first really bouncy as well. So then if you get too much bounce, it's gonna be worse actually for the traction. So that's why it's better sometimes to avoid a bit to take too much curbing on the inside for this Lesmo 2, because it's sometimes better to take a bit less, so then you can really optimize the exits. So I'm gonna show you again. As you can see, just braking a bit before the 50-meter board, just releasing the brakes to find the rotation, going back on power to find the momentum, and as well the rotation on the exit. And then I'm just making sure that I'm just looking at the exit of Lesmo 2, and I'm just looking at where I should put the car. So basically I'm just looking at the same reference I told you basically for the exit of Lesmo 1, which is the white line and the end of the edge of the curbing, the purple curbing. So just look at those two things, so then you can make sure that you are not running too wide. And as you can see, I guess it's close, but I made it without getting the off track, so nice way to take this one. So then just doing it again, full speed on the brakes, just trying to find the rotation on air power, and then just making sure that I'm not running too wide. So this is it for the Lesmo 2, and then we have that straight, kind of straight before Ascari. So basically just going through the gears, putting 6th gear. And then I'm just looking at the bridge, which is, I don't know if it's a bridge. I guess it's just something for the sponsors. But yeah, still just looking at the bridge. And then as soon as I'm getting past the bridge, that's the time when where I'm going on the brakes. So as you can see, the bridge getting past, and I'm going on the brakes, EV braking zone as well. Just going for the curbing on the outside, which basically gives me a better angle to approach the entry of Ascari, and also because this is going to help me to actually put a bit less steering angle, because if I'm, as you can imagine, if I stay a bit more on the inside, then I'm gonna have to put more steering angle to make the corner. But this time, if I open a bit the racing line by going a bit wider on the entries, then it will help me to really carry first more speed and then having the steering a bit more open. So yeah, that's why I'm going for the curbing on the right side. So getting past the bridge, dropping the gears, so dropping to 3rd gear basically. And then as you can see, using the curbing, just turning in as soon as I'm getting on the curbing, and then just getting a bit of sausage on the entry of Ascari. I guess it's fine to take them. The only thing is to not get too much of them, because then it's gonna get too bouncy, and also because you're gonna maybe get the off track if you are too deep on the sausage. But the thing is to really make sure that, yeah, you don't miss them either, because if you miss them, it means that you're gonna really compromise the exit. The thing there is to compromise a bit this corner, so then you can have a better exit for Ascari. But at the same time, if you compromise this one too much, then you're gonna be too slow for for all the sector of Ascari. So it's just about being quick through this one, but at the same time not being too slow, because then if you are too slow, you're gonna lose time first in Ascari, but you also have all the straight before the Parabolica. So as you can see, just using the curbing on the entry, and then as soon as I'm reaching the curbing, just starting to turn to the right, dropping to third, just going on the brakes to find the going on the brakes, just releasing the brakes to find the rotation. And as you can see, as soon as I'm getting close of the curbing, just going back on power to find the rotation, because then if I keep braking, it's just like I told you, I will be too slow, and then I'm gonna lose too much time through Ascari and then through the straight line. So like I said, just releasing the brakes before the curbing, just going on power to find the rotation. Same, you need to make sure that you're not going too heavily on power, because with the bounce caused by the sausage and the curbing by itself, there is a chance that you basically lose the traction. So just make sure that you're not putting too much throttle. That's very important as well on the exit. And as you can see, once I'm leaving the curbing, it's just about making sure that I'm not too deep into the inside of the long right of Ascari, because then I will lose a lot of time. And also then, if I'm too deep on the inside, it means that I'm gonna have to put too much steering angle, and I need to carry the speed. So if I have too much steering angle, I won't be able to carry as much speed as you would like. And if you carry the speed that, if you try to carry the speed like that by being too deep on the inside, it's never gonna work, because it's never going to work because you're gonna lose the rear. So the thing there is to keep a bit of a margin from the discurbing, so then you can make sure that you really minimize the steering angle, which is really important. As you can see through Ascari, just putting fourth gear. So as soon as you get past the small sausage on the right side, you can put fourth gear. It's a bit better to short shift for this one actually, because if you stay with third all the way, there is a chance that you get some wheel spin at some point, or you get the rear a bit loose. But yeah, the idea there for Ascari is to really short shift to fourth, because I think it makes the car a bit more stable as well. So as you can see, just sticking to the curbing, just putting fourth gear. And then the idea for the exit of Ascari is to really make sure that you are not as well not too deep on the inside for this one, because if I'm too deep for the exit of Ascari, then it means that, or I'm gonna have to put more steering angle to make sure that I'm avoiding the off track on the inside. So then it means that if I have more steering angle, the car can get loose on the exit of Ascari. Or then I'm gonna have to take the off track on the inside, which is not ideal either. So the thing there is to make sure that, and it comes from actually this time, this right hander. If I'm not lifting enough, then it means that I'm gonna be too deep on the inside. But as you can see, I'm just lifting a bit on this right one. So then I can make sure that I'm not going too deep, too wide on the exit, and then I can really prepare and optimize my exit of Ascari. So as you can see, I'm still lifting a little bit until I'm reaching the end of the bigger runoff. So as you can see, as soon as I'm leaving this bigger runoff, I'm just going fully on power, or almost fully on power. Yeah, I'm going fully on power. So just make sure that you are lifting enough, because then if you don't do that, you're gonna be too wide on the exit of this one, and then compromise the exit of Ascari. And as you can see, just staying flat, you can stay flat all the way, taking the curb without upsetting that much the car, and then I can like exit Ascari with not that much steering angle. And as you can see, that's what I told you. Like if you have too much steering angle on the exit, you look how much small of counter steering I need to do even with the steering straight. So imagine if you have to put that that counter steering with having the steering more to the left. So yeah, that's the reason why you have to make sure that you can get the exit of Ascari as straight as you can, and this comes from the right hander before with the lift. So as you can see, getting the curb on the inside. And another thing about the curb on the inside is to make sure that you don't run too much. I don't really know what's the limit, but just make sure you're not running too much, otherwise you're gonna get the off track. I guess as soon as you can keep the wheels in the middle of the sausage, you're fine, but Just make sure you're not running too deep in on the curbing. And then as you can see for the exit, I have a comfortable margin with the track limit. I don't really know what's the track limit on the exit, but as you can see, I guess it's like the both less modes on the exit. So just make sure to match the track limit you had in Lesmo on the exit of Ascari. And as you can see, just running on the curbing. And from now you have that long straight just before the Parabolica. So once again, a bit of rest, but still with the draft train you're gonna have in the race, and adding to the LMP3, just make sure that you are still aware of the race. And then for the Parabolica, just not really braking at the 50-meter board, but I'm most likely braking at the 100-meter board. The idea there is to not brake too late, because if you are braking too late, you're gonna have to brake harder, obviously, and then you're gonna get into the ABS and you're gonna miss a lot of rotation into the corner. So the idea there is to brake a bit earlier. For sure, you're gonna maybe lose some time, but not even that much, because like I said, if you brake later, then you're gonna get into the ABS and you're gonna miss a lot of rotation on the entry, which will be catastrophic if you do that, because you're gonna lose a lot of momentum. You're gonna go wide, so you're gonna give the guys behind the chance to have a shot on you, basically. And then you're gonna compromise massively the straight after, because as you remember, you don't have the first chicane of the GP layout. So if you do that, you're gonna lose plenty of time, and you're gonna lose all the time until the second chicane of the GP layout, which is the first chicane of this layout. So the thing there is to brake, like I said, a bit earlier, so it's gonna be close to the 100-meter board. So if I put the chase cam, rear chase, no, it's not this one, it's the far chase. As you can see, close to the 100-meter board. So actually, when I'm inside the car, it's almost it almost feels like I'm braking between the two, but it seems like I'm braking earlier than that, and I'm just braking at the 100-meter board. So just make sure that you are not braking when you are seeing the 100-meter board, but when you are going past the 100-meter board, because as you can see, the 100-meter board is actually right there. So I'm getting past the 100-meter board and I'm braking. So just make sure that you are going past the 100-meter board. And as you can see on the brakes, so EV braking zone, and then I'm gonna just wait a little bit to get into the corner. I'm not gonna go straight away to the corner when I'm braking. I'm gonna keep a bit of a margin before doing that. And I'm actually going to go into the corner as soon as I'm seeing the grass on the left side. So as soon as I'm getting close of this of the end of the grass and the beginning of the runoff, it's at that time that I'm gonna put maybe a bit more steering angle, or I'm really gonna go into the corner. So as you can see, just going back again on the brakes, just waiting a little bit into before making it into the corner, dropping to third, just getting the curbing, the apex on the inside, just still on the brakes, and then you have to get back early on power as well, because you need to find the momentum. You cannot only use the brakes to find the rotation, but you also need the throttle. So basically just going early on power. Just make sure that you are not going too heavily on power. At least if you do it, make sure that you can really open the steering with comfort, because if you can't make that, then you're gonna get the slide and you're gonna lose the time. So just make sure that if you do that, if you go heavily on power and early on power, you are on the very inside of the track, because if you're a bit too wide, then you won't be able to do that and you're gonna have to wait a little bit more. Then as you can see there, as you can see, I'm using the curbing. I'm on the apex. I'm well enough on the apex, so at that time I can really go on power, open the steering to make sure that I'm avoiding any kind of sideways moment and wheel spin. And then as you can see, it's just a run on the to the line. You can basically go back to the right to gain a bit of time, but during the race I don't think it matters that much. But for the quali, you can stay as much as you can. You need to stay as much as you can on the right side to gain some time and shorten the distance. And then we crossed the line for the lap around Monza, and that was the lap around Monza with the 718 GT4. Alright guys, we're done for today, already for week 1 of the 2024 Season 1 Falcon Sports Car Series. I hope you enjoyed this video and you learned a bit from it as well. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel and join the Discord server if you have any questions about the work we're making, and I see you for week 2. Bye bye.